I have to start off by saying just on every single person I have talked to this film with or about with has said, saw the trailer, like very intrigued, so excited, and then they immediately follow up with, what's this about?
They
Because
know what
it's
it's
like,
about based on the trailer. Yeah.
yeah, like, it seems like such a wild, fun ride. And
Yeah.
so I thought, what a better person to ask than you?
Right, right, right. Well, Voyagers is a sci-fi thriller set about 40 years in the future. And it's about a multi-generational space flight to another planet. And during the journey, there's a disturbing secret that the crew discover, and when that happens, just all hell breaks loose, and and it just brings out all of their most extreme tendencies of fear and desire and chaos, and it becomes just this very wild ride.
Well, I mean, I think the story is really surprising in that way. It's a bit of a ride. It's a roller coaster, and I think that it starts in one place and it ends in a totally different place. And I think, for us actors, it's always really fun to explore. In the context of the film, we find these characters on a space mission. They're going to spend their entire lives on this spaceship trying to get to this distant planet to colonize it. And yeah, they realize that they're taking a sedative, basically, that suppresses their sexual desires and some of their truest emotions, and I think they stop taking it, and then all hell breaks loose, basically.
Your character had to have been so much fun to play.
Yeah, no, it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun to play. It was a real it's a gift of a character, really, for an actor. It's you definitely get to have a lot of fun when you're playing the bad guy.
Lily Rose, you seem like the sane one in the beginning. You seem like the grounded one who seems to navigate it pretty well.
That may be the case. I think that when we meet my character Sayla, she is kind of on her own journey of like self exploration, and there are a lot of questions kind of like ruminating in her mind about her purpose and her place in the world and her place on the ship, and what kind of person she wants to be and what kind of life she's going to have, knowing that it's going to be on this spaceship. There will be no other life for her but on this ship. And so I think that those kind of very existential questions bring out the humanity in her, and I think she really comes into her own throughout the course of the film, and we see her really come into her strength, which I think is a really beautiful journey to see.
Is a Space Odyssey film almost like a bucket list item for an actor, because the sets looked incredible for this film?
The sets were really amazing, yeah, and it was I was over the moon when I got the role, pun intended. But it was, yeah, it's like the sets were really incredible, and the whole thing was really amazing. But on paper, like the script, you could have taken the dialogue and put it even not in a sci-fi setting, and it still would have been, I still would have wanted to do it, because I just thought it was really, really incredible script, really well written.
We finally get to go back to the theaters and we get to see this on the big screen, which I love Space Odysseys on the big screen. So what is your favorite thing about going to the movies?
Well, my favorite thing about going to the movies is actually sitting with other people and hearing them laugh and hearing them gasp and hearing them react. And you can, even when there's no sound, when there's like just sort of like a communal tensing up, it. And it's a great way, to experience a movie. And I think the way to experience a movie.
I think there's no experience like going to the theater. And I think I think just being in lockdown with COVID, maybe it's the thing I've missed the most. I love even going to the theater by myself, and experiencing, I mean, because it's funny, you can watch the same movie 2 or 3 times and it changes every time, depending on the room you watch it in. And I think that's the experience that's really fun. And I think specifically for this film, it challenges the natures of ourselves, of humans. And I think that will make you ask questions about yourself. And I think that it's also, a highly intense, really fun ride. So yeah, even better reason to see it in the theaters, I think.
Yeah, no, I agree. And I think the movie is so, I mean, I think, to be honest, I think like any and every movie is going to be better in the big screen, on the big screen. And I think there's really nothing like the experience of just like going to the movies, the old fashioned way. I love going to the movies, and it's something one of the things I've missed the most throughout this year. And so I'm just really excited that now we get the opportunity to do that again. And I think this particular movie is, so immersive, and like Ty said, is kind of such a wild ride. And so I think there's no better way to dive into that than really like, in the movie theater. Like you feel like you're really in the midst of the action.